Hello everybody! Happy Friday! I hope you guys all had a really great week and I'm glad you've decided to come and make some art with me today. Today we're going to be talking about texture. It's one of the 7 elements of art and I actually use it a lot in my work. So texture is a way that artists can create movement or interest or a focal point or some balance in their work. Now there's actual texture, like as you see behind me, these paintings have a lot of texture to them. Or also here, this piece has actual texture. It's 3-dimensional and you can touch it and you can feel the different textures, whether it's smooth or rough or bumpy. And then there's implied texture, which is a visual tool. So like here in this oil pastel, you can see the implied texture of the trees and the leaves, and even though the actual surface itself isn't bumpy, it's all relatively smooth, you get an idea that there's texture going on in there. Okay, so today we're going to be making a textural landscape, and we're going to be doing this by rubbing. So something useful to have for today is going to be some paper, a couple different sizes if you want. I'm going to be using crayons, but if you don't have crayons, you could also use a pencil. And then you should just go around and find some different things in your house that have cool, funky textures. I have some change here. I have my watch with the strap. This really cool pencil holder, which has some holes in it. A cheese grater. See, I have a piece of coral and a button. You could also grab some Legos or a key, just really whatever you find that has some texture. So before we begin, let's do a little bit of a stretch so we can be really focused and ready to make our artwork, okay? So first, if everybody wants to breathe in and breathe out. Let's do that one more time. So breathe in, breathe out, and let it all go. Now we're going to roll our shoulders back a couple times. Ooh, let's roll them forward. And shake our head to side here and stretch out our fingers. Oh. Okay, are you feeling focused and ready to go? Good. So as you can see, this is all done in blues. So I decided to go with a monochromatic palette. What does that mean? Monochromatic is when you use one color family. It helps unify your image and gives it an overall feeling, which I was going for calm. So I have 3 different colors of blues. But you could do whatever colors you want. If you want to do more monochromatic, you could do some reds and pinks, or yellows and oranges, or greens. Just really whatever you want to express with that color. So first, we're just going to practice making marks so we can see, what technique you want to use. So we're just going to try to fill up one whole page with different marks. So just see here, I'm putting my pencil holder here under the piece of paper, and I'm going to take the whole flat edge here, and look at that. Got some really cool textures going on already. So we're just going to try to fill up the whole thing, so you can use the flat edge or the tip of your crayon or pencil. Here, we'll try it with a pencil and see how it works out. I'm going to grab my quarter here. We'll just go like very lightly. Look at that. I'm kind of doing it with the tip of the pencil. I got my quarter on there. So let's just fill up the whole page and we can see what the different textures look like before we make our landscape. And remember, there's no right or wrong way to do this. Your artwork's not going to look like my artwork because it's yours and it should look like yours. So let's try to get it touching all the edges here. I'm going to try this little piece of mesh I have and see what that does. And use your different colors and see what they look like. And you can overlap the textures and see if you like that. We're really just getting an idea of what the textures we grabbed look like. So, let's get the dark blue here. Oh, I like that. And I have this little earring. It's pretty. And it looks like a shell. There you go. Let's see, so some of your textures, if they're softer or harder, you can see what they look like here. Look at that. See what the coral looks like. I also have this Christmas ornament because I have a bunch of Christmas ornaments in my studio. You can see the objects that aren't flat, I'm just wrapping the paper around it. The paper's going to be a little bit crinkly at the end, but that's okay. We're really just trying to see what the different objects, the different marks they make. So I have this little shell here. We'll try that one out. Got a button. I really like the way this ornament looks. It looks like flowers to me when it's, look at that, so pretty. I'm trying to get it all the way to the edges here. I'm trying to cover the whole thing. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just learning what our different objects, what kind of textures they make, and if we like them or not. And then we can decide whether or not we're going to use them in our textural landscape. So we got the safety pin. Let's see what that does. This is what I got so far going on. I think I really like this mesh piece, so I'm going to do another one. And maybe I'll have it overlap over here. So I'm just putting that mesh piece underneath my paper here. Let's see, I'm going to do my middle blue. Maybe we'll get some more of these polka dots. I'm just putting it right under that paper there. I'm going to use my dark blue. Maybe we'll do another one of the watch strap. I like those holes with that big piece of solid blue that's coming through. Looks nice. It's like a directional arrow. So texture in our artwork, we can use it to express what we're feeling along with our colors. Okay, we'll do a little bit more of the coins here. And you can play around and see if it works better if you do it flat or if you try to use the tip. If I try to use the tip of my crayon, then I get a much darker image. Okay, so now that we've played around a little bit with our different textures, you can keep on going and fill up the whole page if you want. I think it looks great when you do. Now we're going to try to make it into a landscape. So I'm going to grab a smaller piece of paper so you can see the whole thing a little bit easier. But when you look outside at a landscape, things that are far away are a lot lighter, and things that are closer up are darker. So how we can mimic this in our texture is by having less things or lighter things in the back and more overlapping textures in the front. So this kind of looks like a marsh, or maybe some seaweed under the sea. Really because of the colors I chose. So maybe if it was all in red, it would look more like a desert. So first I'm going to think about the textures I have on here and which ones that I want to work with. So I'm going to start with the background of my landscape. And I want to do something that's pretty open and light, so I'm going to use my lightest blue here. And I'll probably use this piece of mesh to start. And we'll just use the edge here and rub this whole thing on there. Now, another texture I really liked was what the cheese grater did. There's all these different size holes made different kinds of textures on my piece. So I'm going to choose one side, choose this side here. And again, I'm just going to rub lightly, just gently here with the side of my crayon. I'll do a couple more of those. So now I have my background and my sky in. I'm going to try to get the middle ground. So I'm going to overlap just a little bit here and use my next color, my medium blue. And I'm going to use my ornament here. I'm just going to place this under here. And remember, I want it to go all the way to the edge. Here we go. Look how nice that looks. And I want it to overlap the light blue just a little bit. And I don't know how I feel about this, such a straight line here, so I'm going to bring it up a little bit further. There we go. Okay. Next, I'm going to do my foreground, which is the thing that's the closest to you. So I'm going to make that the darkest, because this will give it an illusion. It's going to be like a magic trick where it looks like it's closer because it's darker. So I think I'll take my holes here. go ahead and cover most of it because I'm going to want to overlap some of my other textures to create more space. There we go. So right now it's pretty much divided into 3 sections with the light, the medium, and the dark blue. And I have a little bit of the medium blue overlapping the light blue, so I'm going to have some more of the dark blue overlapping the medium blue. So I think I'll start with my earring here and just put that underneath there. Let's see. That looks nice. It's kind of like a plant. There we go. Now, I want a little bit more stuff going on here in the bottom so it looks a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to get my coins, put some of them in here. Let's get the penny, we haven't done that yet. There we go. So a really good trick to get somebody's eye into your composition is to have a diagonal line. So I'm going to use my watch band and create a little diagonal line. So just put it right here on that corner. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple more lines in there. So far, I think this could use a little bit more texture on here. What do you think? Now remember, don't get frustrated if you don't like the way it's looking. This is really just practice so you can learn. Go make another one whenever you feel like it. And if you do find yourself getting frustrated, maybe you ripped your paper or your marks aren't coming out how you thought they would, just take a deep breath and let it all go. Because sometimes when you're really frustrated, you can't see how great your artwork really is, and you need to just take a break and walk away and come back later. And then you'll see what a masterpiece you created. So it's starting to go together like a landscape, but I still want to have a bit more information here in the front. So I'm going to go ahead and take my ornament again and put it under here. And I'm going to bring some of this medium blue color down. That's creating a lot of depth just by layering my colors here. Do a little bit over here too. And I think at this point we're going to need some of that medium blue over here just to balance it out a little bit. Take this. Now let's see. I think it's coming together pretty nicely here. You can see there's this idea of this, the foreground looks like it's coming forward because it's so much darker. And there's so many more layers on here. And then the sky or the background looks like it's receding because it's a lot lighter. And there's not as much layering going on. I think I'll just put a couple more things coming up here, maybe across the bottom, and call it good. I'm going to take that piece of mesh. Ooh-wee. And maybe I want something right here. I don't know if I've used my nickel yet, so I'm going to put that right there. And maybe I'll do it in the lightest blue, just so it stands out against that dark background there. We'll try that penny too. For some reason, the penny works way better than the other coins. Okay. And now I think I just want to have a couple things coming up here so it doesn't just look like a line, and it looks more organic or natural. This here. Do this blue again. Wow! Here we go. And I like odd numbers, so I like to do things in threes. Maybe we'll put one more earring rubbing right there. Okay, I think it looks pretty good. So here you can see, just by using some different objects that we found around our house, we were able to create this really cool textural landscape. And it has this illusion, this magical trick of actually being full of texture when it's really just pretty smooth and flat. So, here's our two textural rubbings we did today, just the covering the page with all the different textures, figuring out which way you like to use your crayons, whether you like to use the edge or the flat side here, and seeing what the different objects you had, the textures, what they look like. And then we took that and we made a nice little landscape. And so I just think that's a really cool way to make some art with some stuff you have around your house, huh? Well, thank you so much for making art with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please subscribe. And I'll see you guys next Friday, okay? Bye! Have a great day!